Now, we have already talked about Sylvana. This time we'll talk about hylos. Despite receiving buffs that solves most of issues several updates ago, at least in my server, hylos is rarely picked. That is until I observed some recent discussions and posts. Said he is now more picked than ever. His mechanics isn't even that complicated, to put it simply. His passive gives him extra max HP for every max mana added, and lets him consume his HP to use skills if he runs out mana. S1 buffs his movement briefly, and gives stun CC on his next basic attack. S2 his primary damage and a toggle skill. Dot attack speed debuffed and slowed. Its damage increases as the target takes more damage from it, and has 360 degrees. Ultimate creates a field where he greatly slow enemies while increases his and allies, along self-heal and slow immunity while he remains in that field. That's it. As you can see, all of his skills aren't rocket science unlike most roamers. He is one of few roamers that has no blink or skills to go over walls on his own, so even thinnest wall can shake him off when escaping. He has one of the highest, if not the highest max HP of all tanks by both base max HP and his passive. This makes him much tougher than most of tanks, even hard hitter, like Brody avoids him, so a good tank for solo. Even the other tanks don't want to get close to this guy, thanks to his S2 can eventually chips them. Only ones posed a threat to him are tank killers, or the HS users. The other tanks outclass him by having superior CC, especially one with AoE. With that being said, his role is more closest to Lolita by virtue of prioritizing his backline. Enemies would just figure that killing hylos would be a waste of time and effort, so they simply try go after his damage dealers instead. That would eventually left him vulnerable without any damage dealer of his own, and even his S2 won't do much in that situation, so don't initiate a load. For the buffs he has received, I can hardly remember what he got besides mana. His S2 previously consumes a lot of mana at late game per second, which is bad if he runs out of mana and consumes his HP instead. Which then he ends up hurting himself more than his enemies, so some sub-hylos players prefer stick with level 1 instead. But now, devs have toned down the mana consumption up to 150%, meaning he'll only consume that much HP once mana exhausted. The debuff effect has adjusted from requiring 10 stack to 8 stack for easier full debuff. Dominance ice remains important, and as of this video was made, it has max mana in place of max HP, so he's the only one who gains max HP from this item. Coupling easier S2 and dominance new attack speed reduction. It makes most ADC don't even want to attack this guy beside the aforementioned tank killers. But the other good item changes for him are Clock of Destiny as its passive. Now gives the user some hybrid defense every time user attacks with magic. It also now has passive of Elegant Chef, meaning he can now simply build Clock right at the back and still keeps the region passive every time he levels up. So it enhances further his overall HP and mana region factor up until level 15, where he may ditch Clock for another item, like Sky Guardian Helmet. Now Sky Guardian supplement further his max HP, on top of self-heal without him having to return to base every time. Allowing hylos to abuse S2 with much lesser risk. If he's too worn out, he can simply retreat, recover and return to battle like Hilda or Franco. The recovery time should be estimated to only about 10 seconds in that, without needing to recall, which can take more time as he comes out of his base. Generally, one magic defense item is enough when dealing only one burst made, but you can add another if that wasn't enough. The new Twilight armor further weaken any burst damage that hits him, and it is excellent item to deal enemies with huge pain stats. Spell choice for hylos can be Vengeance, Revitalize or Petrify. Following third talent you can take are Concussive Blast or Quantum Charge. Although Braves might still work on his S2, but can't be triggered with S1, probably Debs forgot to code it after his S1 becomes basic attack. But that is it. Thanks for watching.